try to make a seamless transition as possible between the rehearsal room and the recording studio. So, and I find as we strip away the glass wall between me and the band, that it's a more intimate and fluid communication. I'm Gareth Jones. I've been in the recording business, if you like, the recording game, for over 30 years. I've had a great privilege of working with incredibly talented people over the years, including Depeche Mode and Nick Cave, and more recently with Grizzly Bear. And right now we're here at the very start of the recording sessions for Emmy the Great's new album in Red Bull Studios here in Tooley Street, London.
Blueprint for the future, but you can call it fate.
I met Emmy through her management, and I remember really loving her lyrics. There was that combination of a beautiful first record, great lyrics, lovely voice, made me want to make sure that Emmy's record was one of the records I did this year.
I need to know that when I say the word beautiful to a producer, they and I mean the same thing. So, I could say, I really want something beautiful, and you could be thinking, oh, like Christina Aguilera's hair. And I could be thinking, like a flower, and, we'd be in different directions, but I really feel with Gareth that we have similar definitions.
Emmy and I had a bit of a chat. Obviously, at the very beginning of the process, we got together and went into a music room in her house to sketch some ideas out. And one of the things she said about this record was that she felt that it should be a bit more poppy. On the one hand, she wanted them to be poppy, and on the other hand, she wanted them to be dark. So I was fishing for a bit, but one of the things I thought was if we could get some good beats on the songs, then we had a good chance of making them a bit more poppy. The way that sound came out the loudspeaker has always somehow been fascinating to me. In my late teens, I discovered Pink Floyd, and I remember being very aware of the fact that this man called Alan Parsons was behind the mixing desk and recording particularly the great classic Dark Side of the Moon.
Let's just do one more from the top anyway, because it wasn't as vibrant as it will be with the
I have a number of qualities, I suppose, that I bring to record production. One of them that's very important is to create a space where artists feel safe, and even if they don't feel comfortable, because comfortable isn't always the best way to create something or to deliver a performance. Sometimes some artists seem to need to feel quite stressed to deliver the right performance.
He's very sort of maestro. He's very maestro about it. Actually, the other day in rehearsal, we all stopped because he went like that. And that's how much we are watching him to find out what to do next. And he went, and this is super maestro, he was like, oh no, I just do that when I'm happy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So we cut it down to 3, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can do 4. It doesn't matter, as you said.
Yeah, there's a really good atmosphere in the studio. Gareth knows how to diffuse situations. And we've always had tension in the studio. When we've been in charge of the production ourselves, we have no language that we share. And so we get really frustrated, but this is the most relaxed we've ever had it.
I work in the entertainment business, so I suppose that the pieces of work that I get asked about most are the ones that sell the most. Depeche Mode had already had hits by the time that I got on board. In fact, that's one of the things that put me off working with them, because they were like on the radio and stuff, and I didn't really like that kind of pop music. And we were working in Germany as well. So at the time, in Hansa Studios, Hansa by the Wall as it was then, there were many sessions, especially after we had People Are People at 6 Weeks for #1 in Germany. We had like fans queuing outside the studio and stuff. I did very long sessions with Einstürzend and Neubauten, very amphetamine fueled. I remember going home and getting some rest and then coming back in the morning, and because the band had been up all night, all around Berlin, they'd be there waiting at the studio door even when I got there, because they hadn't taken any rest at all. When I started work in the studio, I buried myself in the studio, and so I didn't make the time to discover enough new music or to go out to gigs or to concerts or to exhibitions, because I felt that it was just incredibly important to spend all of my life, essentially, in the recording studio. But it's become clear to me that it's really important, of course, to get out, go to gigs and to go to exhibitions. I find it a great source of inspiration. Here we are at the legendary South Bank, brutalist architecture, now much loved by many of us here. Behind me, the festival hall. It's a great venue for me. I'm a bit older. I like a nice sit-down venue where it's quiet and people are actually listening to the music. What we take from our life, our full cultural life outside the studio, we can bring into the studio, all of us, not just me, obviously everyone involved, to the benefit of the whole project.
It sounds nice with the fingers.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know it's a little bit more defined.
Yeah.
The starts of the notes are a little bit more defined with the plectrum, but I don't know if that's worth losing the warm bottom end, you know. I could just feel it in the room. There was less, it was like a bit thin in the room, it felt. I was a bit disappointed. If we were going to overdub Iris, I was going to say, could we do it with the fingers?
He's analytical as well, which is really important for me because I need to know why I want something. I can say I don't like that drum fill, but I'll never know why, because I don't think about music like that. I just think it makes me angry, sad. And he'll say, well, you don't like it because you said this was like a lament and this is more of a pop song drum fill. And I'll go, okay, and he explains it. It's an educating experience.
That the artist has to be happy because they have to go on and they have to transport the vision, or they have to carry the vision to the public. If they don't believe in it, then, hey, how can anyone else ever believe in it? I would love to carry on working until I drop, because my work, or my job, if you like, is a passion that I'm lucky enough to be able to indulge. It's not something that I'm looking at stopping doing.